The Lantern Rite Festival in Genshin Impact Patch 3.4 in 2023 is going to have 9 different free 4-stars for you to choose from Beidou, Chongyun, Ningguang, Xiangling, Xinyan, Xingqiu, Yanfei, Yunjin, and Yaoyao. Which of the 9 are you going to be choosing from this event? And while not every character is fit for every different individual player's playstyle, let's go over the 9 characters and how we should think about them when it comes to which one should you be choosing, especially if you're a newer player or a veteran. Now, first up, we're going to do Ningguang, and yes, she's got the new outfit. It's not new, but it's a little older, but she's looking a little more stylish if you have the outfit from last year of 2022. Now, Ningguang here is a little bit more, I want to say, kind of dated. I still use it from time to time, and I think she could be pretty good in certain team compositions. There's different ways to buff her with different supports that are coming out, but the mainstay thing that she does do is she's a burst damage dealer with a tiny amount of support from her Jade screen, as it can block a couple of projectiles, maybe once or twice. But in addition to that, you also have 12% Geo Damage bonus for characters who pass through your screen. Typically, what you're going to be doing is dropping the Jade screen, using your elemental burst, dropping the Jade screen again, and this comes from having access to a constellation like Piercing Fragments or Shock Effect. The 2 biggest constellations for her early on, because Piercing Fragments allows you to do normal attacks that do AoE damage, and because these are all considered normal attacks, you can combine her with someone like Yunjin, who is also free and from leeway here to buff up that damage. And there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with Ningguang. With that being said, she's a pretty straightforward character, and unlike a lot of the other characters we might be talking about that you can pick from this festival, she hasn't really been indirectly buffed by different game mechanics or new characters since Yunjin. She doesn't work particularly well with the Dendra element, which we've spent on a ton of time from 3.0 in Sumeru. Geo just doesn't really play with Dendro super well as far as driver characters, especially a Catalyst driver character. So Ningguang, while still being able to be used, is mainly there for burst damage with slight support. She does look pretty classy though, if you're a big fan of that. One of the least talked about characters went from being busted on the beta to being a character that's kind of more niche now. Now, I can do some cool stuff with Chongyun, and a lot of the cool stuff that you can do with Chongyun, even at a lower level, is from his ability Spirit Blade Layered Frost, which is going to allow you to imbue different melee characters, as long as you're using a polearm, a sword, or a claymore with the cryo element. And this has become a way to do cool, weird things with different characters, make them do cryo damage, build them for cryo damage, even if they're traditionally like a physical character such as Xinyan, and allow them to do melt combinations, or allow them to do freeze, or allow them to do a bunch of different stuff inside of this Frost Imbue from his elemental skill. You can also combine that with the Sacrificial Greatsword, which allows you to elemental skill, reset it, wait 10 seconds for the fuel to go away, and drop it down again and get 20 seconds of cryo infusion for different characters. You've seen a lot of use in national teams from time to time, being able to do big melts himself, and is a good solid pickup if you still want to do and try out the old national team. A lot of teams have moved on since then. We've seen stuff like different national teams, Raiden Shogun National. Now we have Dendro in the mix as well. So while still like a decent choice and does have some things you can do with him, he is, just like Ningguang, maybe not the most buffed character in the recent history of 3.0, 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, now 3.4 of Genshin Impact. So it might not be the solid pickup that you want from the Lantern Rite Festival. As far as constellation considerations go, he does have one sort of neat little nuanced one here, and that's a C2 Atmospheric Revolution, which makes elemental skills and elemental bursts cast inside of his field from his elemental skill have 15% less cooldown reduction time. And there's something that you could mess around with this and have faster skills, faster bursts, as long as you can fill up the bursts with said skills. It's something to consider, but nothing you really need to jump out and go and get. And more of something that you could go and play around with. If you're a veteran player thinking about playing around with this, you probably already have him C6'd, and thanks for not skipping forward in the video. Beidou's had many different teams in her existence, from superconduct teams with physical carries to electrocharge teams with Venti, spreading them all around. Doing different stuff with Beidou has always been her thing. Now we also have access to Hyper Bloom teams and Quicken teams and Aggravate teams, all that utilize Beidou's kit, which is pretty cool, and a lot of that comes from Stormbreaker, her elemental burst, which is actually probably still one of the coolest elemental bursts that we have access to in Genshin Impact, because it does reduce the damage that you take during its duration by 35%, which is all well and good. The one downside with Beidou, though, is that a lot of the times these teams that want to use her, they really start to get huge and pop off once you have this talent, which is Stormbreaker's Arc Lightning jumps up to 2 additional targets. So you activate Stormbreaker, instead of one lightning bolt just jumping out and hitting somebody, it'll jump out, hit someone, jump out, hit someone again, and then jump out and hit somebody again. It'll hit 3 total times. And when you're putting her in elemental reaction teams, Aggravate, Quicken, etc., this becomes the constellation that really kind of makes her pop off. So that's something that you definitely want to think about if you want to try out some more Claymore Queen action with Beidou. Now this one should be quick and easy. It's Xingling. If you don't have this character yet, that means you're new to the game and you want to just play the game. You can unlock her for free still from getting to a certain floor in the Spiral Abyss. It's very early on. I think it's like floor 3 or something. You can pick her there. So instead of picking her from the Lantern Rite Festival, get her there for free. Now, are there any constellations that you'd want to get right away? If you're a brand new character, you'd be getting Constellation 1, and you definitely want to go ahead and just get an actual brand new character instead of working on a constellation right away. That's mainly the reason why I covered Xiangling in here, because she is a free character. C1's not super necessary, so if you can avoid that bait, don't do that. Pick another character to have fun with in this list and just kind of skip over Xingling instead. You really shouldn't pick her from the Lantern Rite Festival. But if you are asking, is there one big constellation for this character that I should maybe think about? Slow Bake. Power Tornado's duration is increased by 40%. This is her bread and butter, best constellation in my opinion, because it allows you to snapshot this with so many different things and then have that snapshot of your big attack bonus, your big damage bonus, whatever, lasts 40% longer. And that's good on my book and probably one of the best constellations in the game for these snapshot teams. Oh, Xinyan is on this list too, isn't she? So I don't know if in good faith I could tell anyone to pick Xinyan. Now, she is one of my favorite characters. As you can see, she's actually built right now because we like doing a lot of different things with Xinyan because her kit is so kind of just everywhere. It's split between pyro, it's in physical, it's got some extra defense scaling on it. If you have Constellation 6, it has like lower charge attack. She wants to do normal attacks so you can buff them up with weird things, but she also gets bonus charge attack damage off her defense. The character's a little bit of a mess, and unless you're a big fan of her, you just want to hang out and try her out and do cool stuff with her, I'd avoid her pretty much at all costs. Not to say that you can't use her and do stuff with her, because I do. You can make physical teams around her, you have to make pyro teams around her, but she's always going to suffer at least a little bit in comparison to a lot of other characters in Genshin, just because she's segmented in so many different ways. And she takes a lot of gear and stats to get her to do anything at all. Oh, Xingqiu is a character we can talk about. He is one that flew under the radar for so long because the elemental reaction system in Genshin Impact, while on surface level, is fairly easy to understand, but to truly understand it, it takes a lot of time, a lot of digging, and a lot of work. You even know what the elemental aura system is? Neither did anyone else when this character came out for the most part. And that is why he's so strong, because he applies Hydro like crazy with his Guha Sword Rain Cutter Fatal Rain Screen combination. He is a character that is used constantly to apply Freeze constantly, to allow your main characters to do Vaporize constantly. He's a magnificent character to have on your account. If you're a brand new player and you haven't picked him up yet, he's going to be a good pickup for you. You're going to find some Pyro character to use him with, some Cryo character to use him with. You'll find something to do with this character, and you'll have a lot of fun doing it, and you'll have a lot of power in that team as well. We're not going to have a 5-hour video about how good Xingqiu is and exactly how to build him. We'll check that out maybe as like a new player 2023 guide or something. But in essence, he's very well worth your pickup, even if you don't have the correct Pyro character or the team right this second on your account. Very good character. But in essence, quick explanation, Rain Cutter is going to be reducing the damage you take. It can heal you slightly with Fatal Rain Screen every once in a while. Did a Hydropathic. He applies Hydro like crazy, which allows you to do elemental reactions like crazy while reducing the damage you take and healing you slightly all at the same time. So he boosts your damage, boosts the damage reduction you take, and boosts your survivability with a minor amount of healing, and that's at Constellation 0. Now, the first 5 constellations for Xingqiu just kind of moderately increases damage, levels up, all this other stuff, reduces resistances to Hydro, gives him bonus damage to his elemental skill if the burst up. But the big bad boy here is hence call them my own verses, which is going to boost the Hydro application of his elemental burst significantly, because after you activate Rain Cutter twice, it's going to give you an extra sword on the 3rd hit, and it's going to make him easier to use because it gives him energy as well, allowing you to drop some energy recharge on him for more crit chance, more crit damage. And him at Constellation 6, you can build him to do damage while buffing your other main damage dealer. And at C6 with the right build, he becomes a pretty big monster, even if all he does is read this book every once in a while on the main screen. Oh, Yanfei, what everyone called like Klee 4-star, Klee 2.0 when she first came out. I don't have a ton of stuff to say about Yanfei because I've only really ever used her in one way, and that is with her Constellation 6 on a different account. You can actually build her for a ton of HP and use Done Deal and get a huge shield for 15 seconds. That also gets even better against pyro damage. So if you have a C4 Yanfei and you want to absorb a 45% of her max HP and then make it 250% more effective against pyro damage, you can do some meme stuff with this build. Outside of that, I honestly can't recommend you using your selector on her. Obviously, if you like the aesthetics of the character, you'll find a way to make her do magnificent work for you, and that's the beauty of Genshin Impact. But as a suggestion video, which of the 9 should you pick? I can't really recommend this one in particular. Now we get to my personal favorite of the 9, and that's going to be Yunjin here. Now I do love playing Geo characters, that's true, but I promise you I'm not being biased because of the element with this character. I like Yunjin because she's a character you can have fun with. You can pick a character that isn't Yunjin that does a bunch of normal attacks, whether it's Noelle, Razor, Eula sometimes, any character out there, even someone like I want to make a normal attack main DPS Xiangling. That's fine, you can do that. And she allows you to give free damage to these weird odd builds and actually make them good. Yunjin's a defense scaling character. She kind of takes gear that other characters don't necessarily use because, well, she wants a defense main goblet, defense main circlet, defense main sands, defense substats everywhere. You should have some of this gear laying around, even if it's not the optimal opulent dream set, you can utilize that. She's got easy to build weapons. Random deathmatch from the battle pass. That's fine. You don't want to buy the battle pass. Here's an even better weapon, arguably, in the Favonius Lance. Ton of energy recharge, makes her generate more particles in the right build. She does wondrous things for characters who want to do a bunch of normal attacks and normal attack damage. She's also extremely flexible because not only are the characters so wide that want a normal attack, she also works well in different elemental team combinations because of breaking conventions. You can do more bonus damage from her elemental burst by having more elemental types in your party. You want to have a 3 elemental party? That's fine. You have a 4 elemental party. That's cool. Do you want to go double Geo, double Pyro and get 5% bonus of her defense but get 2 different resonances? That's fine as well. So I really love Yunjin. I actually made a guide on her before this. If you want to see that, check it out. You'll see her a lot in the content on this channel because it allows you to do a lot of cool, fun, wacky things, and they actually will end up pretty good. And you'll be able to beat all the content while having fun, which is like the best part, I think, of this character. You get to have fun and everything's easy. So it's a win-win. Now there is one other character on this. Number 9 is Yaoyao, the Dendro healer that just came out in 3.4. Now Yaoyao, if you select her, you can do a couple things. You can use her as your healer in a lot of teams and as a Dendro applier. So if you want to use her in a burgeoning team, Bloom team as your solo healer with Nilou, that's allowed. You can do that. You can put her in aggravate teams. You can put her in quicken teams. But if you're quickening, then she might be the one quickening, depending on your party. She's not busted, but she's not bad. If I had to give her like a number, I'd rate her like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. And the best reason for you to pick her for free from the Lantern Rite Festival is if you're near pity on a banner, which is why we have the banners up. If you're near your 5-star pity, don't want someone like El Hytham, don't want someone like Xiao right now, but you do want Yaoyao, and you don't really want any of the other characters, well, you can pick her for free from the Lantern Rite when we get there in 3.4, and you can save your pity for future banners. The Hydro Archon, and still pick up someone new to add to your collection and mess around with in Genshin Impact. And so if you're someone who's like, I want to test out and mess around with Yaoyao, I'm not looking for any of the current 5-star characters, and I kind of already have all of the other Lantern Rite characters, go ahead, pick her up for free. It makes sense. You can sort of view her as a bunch of primo gems if that is what you're looking for in that situation. Let me know which of the 9 you picked down below, because there's a lot of reasons and rationale for it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. And most importantly, make sure you call someone today, even if it's just to say hello.